Now, what happened over here? Well, I did a little bit of investigating, and let's take a look. I'm going to raise some threads here. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'm going to put my hand underneath. So what happened was, you can see all of a sudden I have 3 black in a row. What happened was I mixed the black and the blue. So the black got into shaft 1 and the blue is in 2, and it should have been the other way around. What I need to do again is I'm going to have to cut those off and switch them into the right heddles, and I will also do the same thing I did here. I will thread a repair over for a little bit. If you don't have enough to tie a knot, I don't want a knot in here, so that's why I like to needle weave it in. Now, well, I decided to do something a little different. I said I was going to cut them off, and I decided not to. What I did instead was, right now there are twice as many threads than needed here. What I did was I cut a black and the slate blue, threaded them in the correct heddles, but kept the other ones in there. So basically, there's 2 of each. I'm going to now weave the pattern, and you can see I'm still working on that one down there. It's not quite ready to. I'm going to weave a little bit. Now, why am I doing that? Well, because I think it'll be better for me in the long run, in the idea that I don't have to tie knots and I don't have to needle thread this in just yet. You'll see a little bit my idea. Haven't tried this one before, hadn't had this kind of an error before. So let's see what happens as I keep weaving here. See if it's going to work. Oops, got caught on that one. Right now you can see there's twice as many threads. You can see a lot of the blue, a little extra blue than necessary. But right now I didn't have to needle weave that part in. All I have to do is cut those threads off. Now when I get to the other end, when it's time to rethread those in, I will have to. I'm going to do one more pattern. Pattern row. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to cut the threads that are not supposed to be there, the ones that were switched, and throw them over the back. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So as you can see, I cut the black and the blue that were in the wrong heddles, and they're here. I didn't want to show it on camera. I might have cut the wrong one. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to literally take the ones that are not supposed to be there. I'm pulling them through, and I'm just going to throw them over the back of the loom until I have, when I can take this out and can make sure that the actual warp thread, the original, maybe overlaps about 2 inches or 3 inches. Then I can take a large darning needle and weave it in. But right now that saved me of weaving that in. The pattern's already done because I was weaving 2 threads at one time. Again, just another suggestion or another idea. So we're still fixing mistakes here, and I'm going to weave a little bit, and we'll see if we actually got it corrected or not. I'm going to show you the back of the loom here. And here we are at the back of the loom, and I'm going to zoom on down, or I'm going to go down. I mean, not zoom down, but slowly go down. And you can see now, there are the clamps. And what I actually did, since the 2 were close together, I have 2 threads on the one, and the one that I fixed earlier is still here. This thread, this yarn here, like I said, what I'll be doing is taking it up over the top and seeing if it overlaps enough that I can thread it in and get rid of this one. The same thing with these 2, they're down here. Once I have enough that it's going to overlap all the way. And actually with the this one, I think I do have enough. So I'll go up front and I'll see if I do, and I will be able to needle weave that in, and then I can cut off and take that one clamp off. Okay, if you can see down here, this is where I had a mistake at the beginning, where I fixed it to start with, and I had double. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing at the other end. Like I said, about 2 or 3 inches, enough to wrap around a T-pin, or like I said, you could take a darning needle and just weave it right in. But I'm going to kind of save myself some time or some overlap in needle weaving, which can be a little difficult if your pattern is very complicated. So right now, this is still the repair. I'm going to take the weight, the clamp, whatever you're going to use, weigh it on the back. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue weaving again with twice as many threads in the heddle, but that's okay. Not a big deal on that. So we already did, whoops, I have to see where I was at here. Okay, so now we're going to go across with 1, 2, and this happens to be 6 treadles in this pattern. And you can see that there are double blue. I can definitely see the double blue when I see which treadle it is. Not that one, I think it's the next one. Yeah, you can see that there's twice as many there. But I'm going to weave again about 2 inches. Then I will be able to do like I did before. Trim off this end and get rid of the weights that are at the other end. And that's where I would stop. And first thing to do is to remember to take the weight off. Otherwise, if you trim it, you could lose that tail. So I'm going to take that off. Then I kind of pull it. I can pull it this way. I will trim those off, pull those out, can take the T-pin off. Then I'm going to continue weaving, and hopefully we don't have any other errors or any other problems. And the thing that I did too, if you would break a thread, you can use the same method to fix a broken thread if needed.